Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Blitzkrieg here, and today I am trying out something new. Well, a little bit new. I'm trying some new stuff out. This is the TBRC Spec wing, at least it started that way anyway, and I went to modify it. I added up some pieces here to help streamline the back end. As you can see, it's nice and thin. And then the other thing I did was I cut off the wing tips and I smoothed them over to help make it a little bit more aero. And then the last thing, which proved to be really helpful and that I like a lot right now, is instead of putting the wingtips or the vertical stabs on the wingtips, I'm putting them about mid-wing, pretty much like where the two pieces come together. There's actually a seam here where I glued them together. But what I did was it's actually the same shape that TBRC typically uses for its wingtip ones, and I put it mid-wing, and I had it wrap around the front point. And if you take a look at the actual location of it, this is 6.5, this spar here, which is my minimal CG that I like on this wing, but I'm actually probably closer to about 6 inches on CG. And you see that this starts roughly about 3/4 to an inch before CG. But the majority of it exists after CG. So it's got a real good directional stability with it. The other thing too is it acts as a wing fence, and it stops the arrow from going this way and forces it over the top and gives me a whole hell of a lot of rate with it. So the turning ability and its directional stability is really, really good. So I'm going to fly it line of sight real quick for everybody. Just plug in my radio here and give you a demonstration as far as how good this guy flies, how hard it turns, and how straight it flies as well. So this is a 2217 2500 kV motor, and I'm running a 6055 prop, and watts wise that comes out to right around 700 watts of power, and I believe it's doing about 123 to 130 miles an hour on a 3S 2200. Alrighty, let's check everything. There we go, everything's good. Quick run up. Alright, and we're set. Let's roll. Very good direction. It's just really predictable as far as and its direction change is instant. In fact, I could probably give it a little bit more rate, but right now I am mechanically limited on the amount of elevator rate that I have on here. So one of the things I first tried with this wing was taking a look and see what would happen if I ran no vertical stabilizers. It flew really good, especially at wide open throttle, but as soon as you started slowing down, it really had a lot of bobble and a lot of wag back and forth, so there was some yaw stability issues with it. And the turning radius was still very good. However, it's definitely improved with these stabilizers, the vertical stabilizers that I put. And I really believe that wrapping it around the front edge and creating that fence makes a huge difference with stability. Right now I'm just floating around about half throttle. The other thing I noticed too is putting the vertical stabilizers on there made the turns, the rotation on axis a lot more axial, so it's very much centered. Before, if I did a roll, it was more of a wobble than it was an axial roll. Now, it's pretty well axial. So it's pretty much rolling on center. That's probably less than a 10 foot circle there. It's pretty small. This thing's crazy. I can't believe it, how this thing flies. Oh, look, a bald eagle. I'm flying with a bald eagle. Sweet. Alright, I think that's about it. But I would say this is definitely the most accurate directionally, predictable, on the money wing I own right now. I mean, like, on the money. Let's take a look and see what the motor's not even hot. Cool to the touch. ESC's cool to the touch. With this setup, I think peak was a little over 60 amps. And then right around 700 watts or so on 3S. I don't have a GPS for it yet, so I can't really, or a radar gun, but I was using like a Doppler app, and it was reading into the 120s on speed. So that's about it. Take care.